year is 1066, and Edward the Confessor, the King of England, is dead. Duke William of Normandy has been promised the kingdom, and even the support of Harold Godwinson, a Saxon noble. However, when the time came for Duke William to be crowned, the Saxon Council of Nobles voted for Harold Godwinson to become king instead of Duke William, and Harold was crowned king. This enraged Duke William, who called on the Pope's help, and the Pope was supportive enough to send a papal banner to show his support to Duke William. Duke William then prepared his troops and set them onto his ships. The ships got ready to sail. There were about 400 ships in total. This was a massive invasion force. And they set sail for the Emerald Isles. While Duke William of Normandy was preparing his invasion force, Harold Godwinson was fighting a Viking army under Harold Hardrada. Harold Hardrada was beaten at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. However, Harold Godwinson's army was very weakened. When he heard the news of Duke William's coming, he quickly raised the force as he made his way towards the shore. This force was very quickly thrown together. However, it was still enough that he thought he would be able to win. It was 7,000 men. The Normans sailed from northern France to Pevensey Bay, where they landed unopposed by the Saxon army. The Saxons had set up on a hill at Hastings. The Normans made their way to them and started the battle that would probably change the fate of much of the world. The battle began with Duke William of Normandy attempting to attack the Saxon shield wall by arrows. He was hoping to pick it apart as the Saxons were on a much superior position. However, due to the fact that the archers were shooting at a shield wall, the arrows were ineffective and didn't do as much damage as William had hoped that they would be able to do. He had to think of another plan. As it became increasingly obvious that arrows wouldn't work, Duke William of Normandy ordered his archers to stop firing, and he then ordered his infantry to move up to try to attack the shield wall head-on. The infantry began to move up the hill at a fast rate. They quickly moved up, and then they were about to engage the enemy in the front. On the sides, cavalry is being sent around in case of any attempts at an ambush or anything that the Saxons could be planning. Battle engaged the central shield wall, Normans versus Saxons. The battle was bloody, and the fighting wasn't going well for either side, but the Saxon shield wall held strong. However, the Normans weren't able to push through, and on the left flank, some of the Norman troops began to pull away. The Saxons, filled with vigor, charged after these retreating troops. The Saxons, breaking the shield wall to chase off the retreating Norman troops, allowed for cavalry on the Norman flanks to charge in at the exposed Saxon troops. This was devastating, and it would be a horrible charge that would definitely put the Normans in control of the left flank. The Saxons were forced to pull back. Duke William, seeing how effective the charge on the left flank, ordered the troops in the center lines to break away. The Saxons again charged after them, and then Duke William himself charged into their flank, hopefully dealing enough damage to rout them as well. This would be a turning point in the battle, in favor for the Normans. So again, seeing the effectiveness of these side charges, they did it again on the right flank. The Saxons never learned. This was the time that Harold Godwinson decided to attack. He charged into battle against Duke William's knights. He fought long and hard, and his bodyguards, the Huscarls, fought hard beside him, but slowly they were cut down. However, despite this, their loyalty didn't waver, and they would fight with their king bravely to the last man each. They all stayed by his side and continued fighting. However, eventually, they did get cut down, and so many of them were dying that there was no way they could keep up this fighting. So, after a little while, they were down to only a few, and then there was just Harold, and then Harold was killed. Harold, despite popular belief, was dismembered by Duke William's knights, and he was buried in an unmarked grave. After Harold Godwinson was slain, there was a mass rout, and the majority of Saxon troops ran away. However, the Saxon Huscarls did stay on, and they fought till the very end, despite the fact that their leader was killed. However, eventually, all of them were killed, and the rest of the Saxon troops ran away, destroying hundreds of years of Saxon rule over England. The Saxons were defeated at the Battle of Hastings. Harold Godwinson was killed and dismembered by Duke William's troops. This Norman invasion did not last much longer, as after the leadership collapsed, no one really opposed William except for a few rebellions that were quickly put down. This would usher in a new era to England and possibly the world.